Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Skateboard Stories. The original Skateboard Stories, except no substitutes. This first little bit of footage here is Carl Nunes and Ricky Higgins skating at the hospital. I forget which hospital this was or what the name of it is. Just some cool gaps that no one really ever skated. I always thought this spot was rad. It was a little too big for me back then, but yeah, I was really surprised that people didn't go skate that. The ground was smooth. There's 2 or 3 gaps in a row. Anyway, yeah, it was a cool little spot. Ricky and Carl filming for the Church of Skating video, which I believe would have been the Hellfire video. This spot here is not really there anymore. It's still kind of there, but they redid it, so it's not as good as what it used to be. But it's these little bumps, man. We called it Carp bumps. It's in Carpinteria, California. Sick ass metal bench, like what the hell? Just a metal bench there, and then these amazing bumps, smooth ground. Lots of fun. We'd go there as often as we could. Usually on the weekends, there's nobody there. It's an industrial area, so you'd skate there for hours and never get hassled. Ricky Higgins tearing it up. Me being a dork. David Flores. I
think I ripped my pants.
I'm sure people were probably over me laughing at them when they fell more than others. You know, Dave was laughing. He was having a good time. Some of the guys used to get kind of bummed on me, I think, when I would laugh at them for falling, but it's kind of just typical of a filmer, I think, at least back then. Nowadays, skateboarding is a lot more serious, but we were always just kind of goofing off, so I never took it all that serious. Plus, I think it was kind of like nervous laughter. A lot of times I didn't want people to get hurt, so I would just laugh when they fell, you know. Unless, of course, it obviously looked like they were hurt. Then I wasn't laughing.
Perfect.
I wasn't that much of an asshole. Dave Flores with a smooth backside 180.
Say something. Fuck.
It's funny because Dave, from what I remember, he wasn't like the best mini ramp skater, but the one thing he could do that I'll never forget was on the ramp at the house, he used to do these super long frontside no slides. He'd come over the spine with speed and do like a, I don't know, 12 or 16 foot long frontside no slide across the whole ramp. It's pretty sick. To fakie, exactly, Carl. He did him to fakie.
Whoa! Whoa! Oh, shit. Got me all amped up now.
Ricky Higgins with the nose blunt. And I don't know, like, these tapes are so jumbly because, like I said, I would just record over certain things. I've said that before. Sometimes I'd want to film something else and run out of tape, so I'd just grab a tape out of my bag and find a spot on there that had something that I wasn't super worried about saving, and I would record over. So sometimes on these tapes it jumps around, like, even though we're going in mostly chronological order, certain things are kind of out of whack. So anyway, this is Carl skating downtown Santa Barbara. This is that's actually Jimmy's Oriental Garden right there. It's a restaurant. It's a pretty famous restaurant. The owner actually it got It was out of business for a long time, and then this guy, his last name's Lovejoy, he reopened it as a bar called the Pickle Room right there. But he kind of kept the same motif and some of the same food and stuff too. It was a really cool spot, but he just passed away recently. So rest in peace to him. But that spot's great. If you're ever in Santa Barbara, go check that place out. They got great drinks and snacks. Anyway, so here's Carl just ripping a line right there in front and heading down to the post office, which is this little spot here, which is actually pretty fun to skate. Still kind of fun to skate. It's kind of the same. The railings and stuff have been changed there, but there's been a lot of stuff filmed there over the years. Tony Manfrey, my buddy Carlos Flores. Rob Washburn had a photo out in the front of the post office there on a handrail doing a board slide way back. I think it was in Thrasher. Not quite the line Carl's going for there. I don't remember if we got it or not.
Carl Nunes getting busy for the 9.5.
You know, I would get bored, man. What can I say? You're filming for hours and hours on end. It's like, I didn't want to give up. I want to, you know, get the dude stoked and keep filming and make sure we get what we're trying to get. But at the same time, you know, when you're filming for hours, it gets kind of boring, so you got to try and lighten it up.
Carl Nunes.
Plus, I knew I could edit that out. It's not like I was going to put it in the video. It's just stuff so when we went back to watch the footage later, maybe get a good laugh out of it or something, you know. That was Ricky Higgins doing his world-famous move known as the Pizza Man.
Chinese cuisine.
John Oliver Jr. doing a little flat ground.
Carl Nunes, skateboard champion of the world, the Nunerator. First line of the day. Will he bust it or will he not? Stay tuned and find out after these old farts get out of the way.
They're walking right in the path, too.
Carl Nunes, that is.
Extreme skateboarder.
On your mark, Carl. Get set, Carl. Go!
I can't believe I just tacoed that.
Manabu with purple hair. This double set's pretty sick. It's kind of long. It's not really that tall, but it's kind of long, and the runway comes at an angle, so you actually kind of have to ollie it at an angle. Not much has gone down on this thing from what I remember. I think Pablo might have kick-flipped it at one point. That was George Nagai with an ollie. And I know Stacy Lowry ollied. He put one of those big-ass cones in the middle of the flat there and ollied it, which was insane. It's George again. Not sure who that is.
Go.
Jacob. George getting his hops on. And then this spot here was another one of our favorite spots to skate. It's called Fiesta. That's what we called it back in the day. It's kind of funny how names change, because basically the reason it was called Fiesta was because there's a movie theater right there called Fiesta 5. Eventually I think it was changed to Fiesta 4. And so we called it Fiesta because it was the Fiesta parking lot. But then eventually one of the buildings there became Borders Books years later. And so the newer generation of kids, one day I hear them going, "Hey, we're going to go skate Borders." And I was like, what the hell's Borders? And then they go to this spot and I'm like, oh yeah, it's Fiesta. And this right here is Chips, a.k.a. Jason McGilvery, just shredding some lines around the parking garage. This is a really fun spot for a long time. Nowadays, there's like, what do they call those things? Those little domes. There's like those porcelain domes that they use for the roads, and they put them all over the ground in there. Like all those white lines are now like those little domes. So it's not even the same. You can't really like, you don't have like clean runway to everything. But this spot was in a bunch of videos. Solomon Nagai skated it, a bunch of the Santa Cruz guys. I actually have a funny story about that as we watch Carl Nunes here. Was that one time the Santa Cruz dudes like Ron Whaley, Israel Forbes, I'm not sure who else, some other dudes up there, they drove down from Santa Cruz to skate this spot. They drove down at night, came down, skated the spot for whatever many hours in the middle of the night, and then drove home. Ask Ron about that. True story. I wasn't there, but they told me about it. I was like, wow, you guys came all the way down here to skate this? But it was fun. I mean, it's really smooth ground, little manual pads, and then one big, long manual pad. Or I guess it's not super long. This one here is like maybe 3 times bigger than the other ones. The other ones are pretty small. Obviously, you can see to do tricks over. And then actually out in front of the spot, there's these like transitions that are super sick, but I think they're all knobbed up and stuff now. They were really hard to skate, but I remember my homie Nagai used to kill those things. There's Noe. Yeah, so the kids changed the name from Fiesta to Borders, and now the store that's there is called Marshall's. So I wonder if the new kids call it Marshall's. Let's go skate Marshall's. There's Jay, aka Chips. This footage is pretty orange, but it actually was pretty orange inside there when you were skating.
All these guys suck. Especially this guy right here.
but it's mainly really orange because I didn't set the white balance. But it was kind of orange in there. The walls are like painted yellow. There's like a lot of fluorescent lighting going on. So this is pretty true to the color. You know, if I set the white balance, it would look a little different. You can also see like the deterioration of this footage right here because the color brings out these lines in the footage. So you can see that these tapes are starting to get old, which is another reason why I'm starting to digitize all these tapes and put them out there. I don't remember if we actually used that line in the church video or not, but that was a sick line. Carl ripping. Didn't look like he was super happy with that though. I don't know why. He's very, very picky about his stuff. He wanted everything to be perfect, always. Oh, this is a pretty rad spot. This doesn't exist anymore, but this was the drive-in theater in Goleta after they shut it down. So it was all these just bumps after bumps after bumps, and especially on this end, they were really steep. So this was like, I don't even know, we skated the spot maybe once or twice, and then I think they leveled the parking lot. It's Dave Flores, Noe Flores, and Carl Nunes. See, that was definitely not good enough for Carl. But I mean, hey, you know, you want it to be right? You want it to look good. It's going in a video. You want it to be as good as you can possibly get it, so I understand.
Church.
And this is another great spot that's gone too, but this was just a little shopping cart rack out in downtown Goleta, and they just happened to keep it over by this bump in the sidewalk there. Little driveway bump. But it was sick, man. That thing was like perfect. And you could move it too. You can move it around a little bit.
I can angle over here and someone doing something over there.
No, he giving me pointers on how to film. Or what to film, maybe. Carl with the crooked grind.
Carl's bad. Carl's bad caverns. There he is. Carl's bad. Carl's bad.
Carl's bad.
Carl's bad. I'm better. Once upon a time, there's this. I'm still better. Film that. No, that. Film this.
You like that, huh, Noe?
Yeah.
Oh, hey. There he is. Oh.
Random 7-Eleven footage. If you wanted to know what 7-Eleven in 1995 looked like, here you go. $3.99 for a 6-pack of Budweiser.
Yeah.
This is like when Snapple was new too, man. I remember that. It tasted different. I used to love those peach Snapples. Random information for anybody out there that cares. Filming some random dude. I don't know, man. I just filmed everything. It was just always pointing the camera everywhere. It was a good time. Cigs for $2.20. How much are cigarettes nowadays? Like $10, right?
180. Taking pictures, huh?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
107?
Some of my Slurpee. Get off my Slurpee. Feel me paying for it.
There's Uptime there on the counter too. Uptime was actually originally from Santa Barbara. It was made in Santa Barbara. I think nowadays it's like an energy drink, but originally it was just like these supplements, like pill supplements. That spot right there is still there, and actually there's like this bike rack there. I want to see somebody wall ride over it. It'd be sick. Watching this footage makes me wonder if it's true that when you turn 18, you're actually an adult. We're in our early 20s here. I don't know if we were adults yet. We're all on our own, but I don't know.
Brain freeze.
Those are hella good too, those coconut popsicles.
As if I was Boomer. You're nothing but a tumor, emerging like gum on the sole of my Puma. Is that coconut flavor? I can see myself.
The tape's running out, so.
Self, you rap like no one else. I'm just kidding, I'm biting. Pick that nose. Ladies say I'm deaf.
Let's do that. Oh, the tables are turned. Oh, every detail on that face. Oh, every detail on that jock haircut. Oh, there it is. The man, the myth. Oh.
He's back right here.
Church.
Of
Skatan.
just all church. 13 hands.
There's gonna be a fat Tampa section in the next video, huh?
Ew. Chokehold on the nards.
That was Chris Orr getting made fun of. No, he's trying to get busy on this nasty kinked handrail.
Oh, damn.
And here we are back at Washington. It's that same session from before. Just a big mellow bank, but actually that's where that big long rail is. You can see it in the background there. Some pretty sick stuff's been done on that rail. Feeble grind, crooked grind, Shambolus crooked grind. That was amazing. I think Frankie might have lip slid it. Frankie Hill. Fakey inward heel flip. Trying. And here's me back at the DMV again. See, this like session is like split up into like 3 different areas on 2 tapes, so it's really weird. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. But I said it before, this was right down the street from my house, so I go skate here all the time. And ollie flip no slide. I learned that because of Dylan Gardner. Watching him do it. And these ones are kind of sloppy. I ended up getting it a little better down the road. These are probably the first ones I ever did. And Chris Orr just happens to show up on his bike. Probably on his way home or something. Couldn't get my line. It's like the only tricks I ever knew how to do. And see, and then all of a sudden we're back to Carl skating this. So I don't know exactly what was going on here on this tape. It's jumping around a lot. Probably just recording over stuff, like I said. Anyway, we're coming to the end here. Looks like Carl's getting mad anyways. Probably shut this off. Just kidding. But yeah, we're coming to the end of the tape. And thanks for watching once again. Have a great one. I'll be back with another one soon. Peace.